125,600 minutes. Hey, let me just say, right off bat, I'm a theater kid, born and raised in the theater, okay? We are very particular about musicals, specifically Rent, something that was such a Broadway hit. It's something that you grow up on if you're a theater kid. So I really went into watching this shade, okay? I had a little chip on my shoulder. I was just like, they could have used the people from the Broadway cast. I know the originals are old, but there are still people who are doing Rent on and off Broadway who I felt like had not greater talent, but the experience. Because theater, television, and film, three totally different animals. You can use your instrument of acting to really be able to work in all three avenues. However, if you are not theater trained, taking on a musical on live TV is very, very difficult. So I already felt some sort of way knowing that they didn't take a lot of people who had the training, but people who had the star power. And that is a lot of problems that I've always had with these like live musicals, because they never really pick people, in my opinion, who have the talent to pull it off, especially if they're doing such a popular musical. So I felt some sort of way. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I felt some sort of way. However, Rent got me all the way together because, baby, by the end of this, I was bawling, travailing like I was at a Black Baptist funeral. Let's get into it. Jordan Fisher is a star. Give that boy all the parts. I'm telling you, I could not take my eyes off of him, even when he was not the focus in the scene. He was so freaking good. And I knew right off the bat, especially when he was in scenes with the other cast, that this boy had theater training, specifically musical theater training. I knew he had it in him. Like, he was always on, and I could not take my eyes off of him. I could not stop watching him. I was even watching how he was acting when he wasn't the focus of a scene, and he was just still in that world, still living in the make-believe world that he created. And that's why you love theater so much, because even though you're not the focus, that world is still being built. That world is still being created. And the live artists, like the artists who are on the stage making this world for you, still in it. Never leave it. That's what I love about theater. I like film and TV because I make more money, but theater, the stage, baby, it's nothing like it. And Jordan Fisher is a star. For him to be able to pull that off, my God, today, I would have been so nervous, out of my freaking mind, especially being the narrator, especially doing a powerful play like Rent. I just would have been all over the place. And I just watched him, and I was so inspired by his work and so proud of him, like I was his mama. I was like, yes, baby, go for it. Give that boy all the parts. He deserves it. He is a star. It's on him. It is on him. So before I get into what I loved and what I won't say loathed or disliked, I will say I just wish they had a bit more rehearsals for. Before I get into that, I wanted to first talk about why Rent the musical is so important to me and why it just means so much. Why I went into this feeling some sort of way, okay? First of all, if you're an 80s baby and a 90s kid, you have experienced trauma, specifically from the crack epidemic and the AIDS epidemic. That hit my generation hard, okay? It is, I can't even explain it to you what it's like being a child and you have adults in your life dropping like flies and nobody understands what's going on because the adults are not really grasping what is happening. There are parts of my childhood where men and women in my life who specifically were lights were snatched away by drugs, snatched away by AIDS. And it's traumatizing because you're a kid and you don't understand how this wonderful person is here, healthy, happy, and then they start to deteriorate and then they're gone. So watching this musical, performing this musical, always got me straight to my soul because I understood it. I lived it. Such a powerful piece. It's so impactful. It's so just well done. Everything about it is well done, from the writing to the music, all the way down to the actors. That's why the actors in the original cast of Rent, that's why they are still working today, because that show picked the top of the crop of the up and coming. And those people are still stars today because they were on their A game in 1996, and they're still getting coins in 2019. If you're a theater kid like me, you aspire to be that. So it was just huge for me because I got it. I understood. Like, I never was able to sing that song, 525,600 minutes. I was never able to sing that song without crying because it got to my soul. I understood it, right? But it was also so well done. It's also, if you're a theater kid, a song that you sang a billion times and gotten on everybody's nerves. Like, I went to performing arts high school and college, okay? Like, can you imagine like 20 teenagers like at a diner just bursting out into this song? Like, this was my life. This was my life. Like, call it corny, but I enjoyed every aspect of being a theater kid. It was never corny to me. I enjoyed it. It was also something I was surrounded by. But knowing that Fox was going to do a live taping of a show that was so near and dear to me, baby, walked up my back, and I wasn't here for it. That is why, because it's a part of me. Like, it is something that I gravitate to right away. And I've watched a lot of the live tapings, and they weren't very good. So I was very skeptical about it because it's something that touches me in ways that I can't really explain. I've tried to, but it's so much deeper and it's so much more. It touches me as an artist, as a person. It's just, whoo, it's good. And if you've watched it, you get what I'm talking about. If you've watched the live taping and you were moved, baby, imagine watching the original cast. Imagine watching the original cast on Broadway. Imagine watching the movie of the original cast and just falling apart. And then knowing the story behind it. Ciao. Woo! So I'm gonna start off what I wish they had a bit more rehearsal for. The acting of the non-actors. This is what I'll say to that. I get it. You gotta do star power. I totally understand. I just wish we had somebody that was a part of this production that if you're going to mix up a cast, which I don't recommend, I feel like if you're going to hire singers to do a musical live taping of a hit show, get all singers. Do not get people who are not only fantastic singers and dancers and actors, because what's going to happen is that part of your cast is going to look weak and it's not going to match up to the other talent who have trained in this and know what they're doing. And that's what it looked like on that stage, unfortunately. And I just wish that was focused on a bit more, because there would just be these really great scenes and then somebody who I know is probably very nervous, right? So they're thinking about their lines, they're thinking about their next move. They're not really connected to it because this is still foreign territory to them. I could see them thinking, I could see them like taking away from a moment that was happening. And then I would see them kill it on a song, but not on the important aspects, which is the dialogue. It's just as important as the song because you are emoting for me. You're creating this world for me so that I could believe you and feel for you as this character. And I felt like some people didn't do that. I'm not gonna call out no names because I've been there. You know what I mean? Thank the Lord I went to train, and thank the Lord I bombed and was able to get back up again. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just saying, for me, it kind of took me out of the musical a bit, just watching another person who is just not familiar with this, try to figure it out on stage. And I guess because I'm somebody who's a performer, I was able to see it, but I was just like, come on, get it together. This scene is too good for you to be over here thinking about your next song. Let's talk about my girl, Valentina. Listen, word on the street is that a lot of the performers were preserving their vocals for the actual show. And because they couldn't do the actual show, we got the dress rehearsal. This is what I want to say to that. Every show is a damn show, even a dress rehearsal. You cannot tell me that the original cast of Rent, or even the people who did it after the original cast of Rent on Broadway, treated a dress rehearsal as something to throw away. Never do that. Because one, the audience is coming, whether it's a dress rehearsal or not, whether it's a free ticket or not, is coming to see your work. You leave everything on that stage. What you don't do is just pussyfoot around the stage because this ain't the big show. Every show is the big show. You should never treat a dress rehearsal like it's not important, because it is. Because you could have a situation like this where the dress rehearsal becomes the big show. Never hold back. Give it your all. And if you went too hard at the dress rehearsal, get some honey for your voice. You're a professional. This is what you're supposed to do. I don't like when people do that. And I've never been trained to like take it easy on a dress rehearsal. Every performance is the big show. So I couldn't really take that excuse that some of the performers were holding back. That's why their vocals wasn't so great, because they were holding back because it was a dress rehearsal. If that's the truth, I'm disappointed. Because like I said, every show is the big show. You never hold back. You never cheat your audience because it's a dress rehearsal audience. Like, that's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to your instrument. It's disrespectful to the audience who really, if they didn't pay money, they gave their freaking time to let you know if the show was working or not. That helps you for the big show. You know what I mean? So I can't buy that excuse. So if that is the truth, then I'm disappointed in Valentina for that, if that is the truth. However, I could tell that she struggled with a few things, right? Specifically, her opening song. Not her opening song, but the huge song. Today for you, tomorrow for me. That is your song. That is Angel's song. Even if it's a dress rehearsal, hit everything. I feel like Valentina was trying to recreate what the original Angel did on Broadway and in the film. And it just, some parts, I'll say that, not the whole thing, some parts didn't land. And here is why. Don't recreate what you can't recreate. You know what I mean? I had to sing a Whitney Houston song for one of my friends' weddings. I tried my darndest to recreate it just like Whitney Houston. I found out real quickly, I ain't Whitney Houston. So I had to sing it to the best of my ability for what I could do and still move the audience, because every performance is the big performance, you know what I mean? So for Valentina, I feel like that was just her one error, excluding this is the dress rehearsal, is that you just can't do that. You know what I mean? If you don't have the range, that's okay. You got the range in different areas. Don't try to recreate something that somebody else was doing, or don't try to add a little spice onto something that's already amazing. You know, it's like when people go and do sing the national anthem and they add all this stuff and people are like, no, just sing it the basic way. We'll take that over this spicy one that you're trying to give us. That's not working. So I think that was her issue. Just trying to maybe do too much and recreate the original instead of being like, listen, talk to the producers and be like, listen, baby, I want you to have a great show and I want to have a great show too. All these runs you're giving me with choreography, this ain't what I do. So I need for you to work with me. There's no shame in that. I've done that a billion times in the show because I want to give the best performance that I can give, and I want the production to be pleased with what I can do, but I can't go out of my range. That's just impossible. What I can do is damn good. Let's work together and let's figure out how we both can come to a happy medium and get the job done. And I felt like that's probably what she should have done. She should have been like, listen, I can't sing. I can't hit this note. Maybe she can hit the note standing. The note changes when you're running. You're jumping up. You're being lifted up. You got to do this. You got to come over here. Then you got to remember this choreography. That changes things. That's why coming up, my early training, we used to have to run and sing, to build endurance and also to train our voices to be able to hold the note while we're dancing. And not only hold the note, but also project while dancing. And that's probably what Mama should have done. But in saying that, what she did was not easy to do, because it was clear that she was in scenes with somebody who had experience with this. Brandon had experience. And trying to match that, then doing something new, then dealing with, because it's real now with social media, with people who, sad to say, want you to fail, that's a lot to take on. It's new territory. It's being filmed for the world. And with social media, it's going out to millions and millions of people. So that was a lot on her shoulders. And I totally get that. I deal with that all the time. I just think that Mother went out of her range, probably shot too high, too quick. Maybe with a couple more rehearsals, it would have been there. Maybe it was there in the rehearsals. It changes once you get it up on your feet in front of the cameras and in front of the audience. That is another issue that I had. The audience, they were yelling over really important parts, and it didn't give me the feel of what I wanted from Rent. Because Rent is it's a beautiful musical, right? But it's very serious. And I don't want you screaming when a person is singing about their partner dying of AIDS. I don't want you, wow! And I was just like, you guys, do you not get what's going on here? The audience really took me out of it. And I would have been fine with the live taping of them just in the theater and no audience. For me, that would have been better. I don't know if they normally do that. They need to start doing that because, or maybe get a theater audience who understands, because those kids were acting like they were at the Teen Choice Awards and they were, whoa! And I'm like, do y'all know what the hell is going on? Or is somebody telling you guys to scream? I don't know, but that really bothered me because it was taking you out of it. And then they were screaming over people. So when they would say certain lines or sing a certain song, you couldn't really hear it. So that was taking me out of it. Then also, and again, it's probably because it was the dress rehearsal, I couldn't really hear a lot of the performers, especially Tinashe, who has a beautiful voice. I wanted to hear that, but it was like struggling, and I'm like, what's up with the mic? The band in the audience was louder than the performers. Like, you couldn't hear really, really great songs. So I was just like, that was another issue that I had. And I think that probably they would have nailed it with a couple more rehearsals. Oh gosh, so his name escapes me right now, but Zac Efron's dad, the dude with the guitar. I don't know his real name, but I think he did a good job, right? I just think I could tell right off the bat that he was a singer. I knew it because that's where his focus and attention went. I still think he did a good job. It was just like, dude, I need you to focus on other things too, not just these solos, okay? Because he was ready. He was ready for his solos. Still, what he was doing was very difficult to do, so I don't take it lightly, the work that he put into it, but he worked them damn songs, and he was giving me Creed. Did y'all get Creed? Because it was, and I love you, and I wanted to tell you. I was like, oh, okay, Creed, let's go. And also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wanted more of Mario. I know that character is not that big of a character, but I just felt like he would come in and disappear, and he wouldn't really have like moments. Even when he was having like a solo moment, it was still a group shot, and I was like, oh, I wanted more of Mario. And I wanted, I don't know, because I felt like, and maybe it's because his acting wasn't as strong, but the boy was singing. He was singing. I was just like, I would have liked to have gotten a bit more of Mario filming wise. I get in the production, his character is not that big, but you know, if you've seen it with Taye Diggs, he kills it. Like, he has his moments and it's sickening, and I didn't really get that from Mario, and I wanted that, if not in the acting, in the vocals, because he had it. Like, even his little things that he was doing, them little runs, I was like, yes, boo, give it to him, let him know what you can do. That was pretty much it, because to be honest with you guys, I was searching for what really bothered me, because I thoroughly enjoyed the live taping of Rent. Like, I thought it was really, really good. I wasn't even bothered by the casting when I got into it, because at first I was just like, oh no, because I get it. You gotta have star power to sell these shows, but I just felt like Rent is such a popular musical. You could have put anybody in there who can do it, and it would have been outstanding. And I also think, as someone who comes from the theater, I want theater people to get their shot on TV too. You know what I mean? And in film. I don't think it's fair that you put in all that work and you make a show popular. You make a musical popular. You're selling out Broadway, which is really hard to do. And then Hollywood comes in, takes it to TV and film, and casts somebody who can't even hold a candle to you. So that bothered me, but I enjoyed it. However, not to digress, but speaking of candles, did you see when Tinashe was holding that candle up to her bundles? I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, Tinashe, pour that candle back. Pour that candle back, girl, because we about to have a Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial moment. So let's get into what I loved. Everything. I loved everything. I loved all of the songs. Can we talk about Contact? Let me tell you something, Valentina. I forgot that one note, and today for you, baby, because Contact, sis, you did it. I don't care if you mess up, you had that little, you did it. You had a fabulous performance. I loved it. I really, really did. Contact, yo. Do you know how hard that is to do? Just to like lighting, choreography, emoting, like I was in it and I was bawling, okay? And then I should tell you, oh, it was so good. They got them songs. I will say, I feel like after La Vie Boheme, I know I'm saying it wrong, okay? All my life, I got in trouble for that. Nikki, that's not how you say it. Whatever. Love you, boy. I feel like after that number, that's when they got their groove. Because it was struggling in the beginning. You know what I mean? It wasn't that it wasn't good. I just felt like the cast wasn't connected. But after that number, which was phenomenal, they got it together. Because that number was so good. They were having such a good time. And I'm telling you, as a performer, when you're doing good and the audience is communicating that they love what you're doing and that you're doing very, very well, you feel that and you just get so free and you just become another performer. And I felt that's what happened. I felt in the beginning they were struggling, right? But after that performance, that group performance, they got it together and it was powerful. Everything after that, thumbs up. Thumbs up. And since we're talking about thumbs up, yo, Vanessa Hudgens, I don't know what happened. That girl needs to have a phenomenal career right now. Not saying that her career is not phenomenal, but from that performance that she gave, because she's not my generation. I know about High School Musical through my little sister. I couldn't really get into that, and I don't know if she does other music. I don't really know. I just know I've seen her on magazines and stuff, and I know about her dating Zac Efron. You know, I know the mess, okay? I don't really know if her performing. That performance was phenomenal. She did such a great job, and to go up against Idina Menzel, sis, I felt like I was watching Idina. Like, she did such a great job. Take me, baby. When she got up on that table, I was, oh gosh. And even her opening number, Vanessa, sis, I am very proud of you. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why it takes something like this for, I guess, a lot of us to see her talent, because she's been out a minute. And I'm like, why isn't she giving more stuff? Like, the girl is talented. She can act, she can sing, she can dance, she knows how to perform. Has she not really done well in dramas? Who cares? Get her, put her in fluff stuff. The girl is good. I want to see more of her. I really, really do. I think I want to see more of her in the adult aspect, because I think she did very well within like that Disney kind of era. But I want to see her in more stuff as an adult. I want to see her range and what she can do and how far she can go, because I was thoroughly impressed what I saw from her. Vanessa and Jordan, to me, A1. A1. And I watched the both of them. Vanessa was acting and just in it, and like the freaking background, mother was still in it. Thoroughly impressed. And since we're talking about background, shout out to the background actors, shout out to the supporting cast. I guarantee you the supporting cast was ripped straight from Broadway, because the way they was hitting their 1 and 2 and 3 lines, I said, ain't no way. Ain't no way they did some casting and it just pulled you from an open call. You were doing this show on Broadway. Killed it. Killed it. Speaking of killed it, Keila Settle. Sorry, sis. Wonderful. When I saw her, I was like, oh, you about to tear the house down. And she did it. When she started singing, tearing up. I started tearing up. That girl's voice is anointed. Like, I'm telling you, there are just some people that God has placed his hands upon. It was just like, you will have my presence in your voice. And that is her voice. When she sings, I just feel like I'm getting a hug from the Lord. I just feel comforted. I feel comforted, and I just feel like I have peace. Like, her voice is that powerful. She was singing and I was bawling. She was like, 500. I was like, moments. Oh dear. Powerful. Powerful. Speaking of powerful, Brandon Dixon, brother, great job. Great job. Who knew that sleazy lawyer from Power was like a Broadway star? Jesse Martin, who played Brandon's character on Broadway and in the film, he made this character iconic. Like, he was such a good character. Jesse Martin was in it from the beginning to the end. Like, you couldn't take your eyes off of him. I was skeptical because I only knew of Brandon from Power. Baby, Brandon, you better go. And not saying skeptical because I didn't think that he's a talented actor. I just didn't know him from anything else. Power was my only source of seeing Brandon's work, which is good. But baby, you gotta be great to do Rent. Great. And he was so good. And I'm so pissed that he broke his foot because he was giving it. He was giving it. But, you know, I'm not surprised that he had some kind of accident because they had him in freaking parachute cargo pants and these Rockport Timbs. Who didn't think that something was going to happen? I was watching them jeans like, brother, this is danger. This is danger. But great job, Brandon. Great job. I really hope that Fox gives them another shot. I really, really do, because this was a good show. And I would want to see all of the actors, all of the performers on their A game. Because the people were holding back because it was a dress rehearsal, which is a no-no, and I hope you learned from that. I want to see how they would be on their A game, specifically Tinashe. I did feel like she was holding back. And I was disappointed because the girl can sing. I don't know any songs from her, or probably heard her song but didn't know it was her. She has a beautiful voice. I instantly was like, I want to hear you and Mario do a duet together. I hope y'all work something out where you two are singing together, because you guys have beautiful voice. I loved their voices, specifically Tinashe. And I was like, girl, you can sing. You can sing. I just wanted a bit more because her character is such an important character. Like, Angel is the AIDS epidemic in that time. Tinashe's character is the one that deals with the drug epidemic at that time. So two very important characters, and I just wish they would have had more time. I really, really do. But I think they did a great job. I really, really do. For what it's worth, you know what I mean? For what it's worth, they did good, but I just wish I would have gotten a bit more from her. Because the music seems like it comes easy to her. So I would have just wanted her to work on more performance, like emoting and really, you know, connecting with this character and what is happening to the audience. Because the scene where she sees Angel and she comes back, like she passes away and she's like, whoa, I saw Angel. And I'm like, girl, I needed you to take some moments with that, because that was very important. But I get it, sis. I get it. Been there, understand, still a great job. The greatest moment of this performance to me, the end. You get this message about Jonathan Larson. You get a close-up of him. You pull out. You see Rent and you think it's over. Curtains come up and I'm about to cry. It's the original cast. The original cast. And guys, I was so full of emotion. One, as a performer, right? Because when you do powerful work, right, you don't know. Like, you get a script and you're just like, oh, this is such a good script, I would really want to do it, right? Then you get into rehearsal and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm a part of something that is about to change the freaking world. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you get into until you get in a rehearsal. Then you get it up on stage and like people are bawling in the audience, wanting to speak to you, having to just have a conversation with you to let you know how that changed, how your performance, how your work, how your character changed their lives. And I know they all experienced that. And then to see them older and just knowing that one moment, getting off topic, but this still is in the arena, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Jason Bateman, I was watching him accept his SAG Awards, and a shout out to all the SAG Award winners, and also just to let you know, I'm doing a video about the fashions. Stay tuned. Anyway, in his speech, he said, we're all just a job away. And what he was saying was that he wasn't really working, and he would watch the SAG Awards and be just like, I know I'm good. Like, what is going on? I can't get anything. And then he got Arrested Development and his career changed. This is what Rent the Musical was for these actors. And just to see them older, having worked significantly from this one role that they played because they were prepared to take it on, and just see their growth, and just to see them all together on the stage, guys. Woo! It got me. I felt it on so many levels. Also, because I was already feeling a certain way about, you know, seeing Jonathan as the camera pulls out and just crying. And when I read that message, he never got to see his work. Listen, already crying, and then pull up and it's the original cast. I said, oh, they did the damn thing. They did the damn thing. I was very proud of this production, because it's really hard to take a stage play, a stage musical, and put it on camera, because it loses something. Like there's something that's lost with putting a live performance on camera. It doesn't feel the same way as if when you're in the audience just watching it. So I was skeptical about that. I was also skeptical about the actors that they use and the singers or whatever. But all in all, I enjoyed it, guys. I had a really great time, and this ain't nobody paying me. This ain't no fluff. I did not go into this show thinking I was gonna like it. The fact that I was in fetal position, shaking and crying at the end of that damn musical, I was like, oh, they got me, because the sister wasn't ready. I really did enjoy it. And now I'm feeling like I should go back and watch some other ones that I passed over, because I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna see this person sing this powerful song. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a theater snob. It's in me. That's just how theater kids are. You are just, not just theater kids. When you put in a specific amount of work into a craft that you love, and you see people getting parts not because they can do it or because they're good, or it's just because they're famous or they know somebody, you feel a certain way, especially when it's a stage play, because you know how much work goes into that. And not saying that work doesn't go into film and TV, but I'm just like, yeah, you feel a certain way. And that's just how I felt. That was a theater snob in me, but the theater snob got checked. I recognized it, and I was checked by the work. I thank the Lord for humbling me, because it was a wonderful humble. I loved it. I really, really did enjoy it. I think the actors did a good job. I want to see it again with them on their A game, all of them. Because let me tell you something, it might have been a dress rehearsal for everybody else, but it wasn't a dress rehearsal for Jordan or Vanessa, which is why they left everybody gagged. Gagged. I said, Vanessa, why aren't you in more things? Like, what is your management, your agent doing? Who is she signed with? This girl needs to be working. Jordan and Vanessa, they should be in everything in 2020. Like, everything should be coming out with them. I should be seeing them on everything. They deserve it. They did a great job. Everybody else too, but I just could not take my eyes off of them. They were so good. Such a wonderful production. I really had a great time watching it. And to be honest with you, no tea, no shade, it was just what I needed. I'm in the middle of pilot season. It's hard, guys. If you don't know what pilot season is, it's just a time where actors are auditioning a lot for TV shows, network TV, streaming services, cable, all of that stuff. It's a stressful time, because you want to work. You really, really want to work. And seeing something like this, even though I'm stressing out about work, encourages me to come off of the SAG Awards and then to watch Rent Live. I'm telling you, God knows what you need just when you need it, because I am fully inspired, and I feel like I can go a bit longer. You know what I mean? I was feeling depleted, and it happens to me every pilot season. I just get worn out and I get tired, and I probably have a breakdown, and then I pick myself back up again. But this is my pick me up, and I'm really, really thankful for it, because it was some good work, guys. Good work. Congratulations to everybody on Rent Live. You did an amazing job. Shout out to the producer. You know what you're doing. Good work. Good work. And to that I say, good night. See you soon for The Bachelor. Stay woke. Why did I say that? I love y'all.